Hi, this is Dr. Hank Liers. I'm the project formulator and president of Health Products Distributors, Inc. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about our vitamin D formula. It's been out for a long time, 10 or 12 years, and it's a beautiful formula. It works wonderful with 5,000 IU of vitamin D. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the finer details of the formula that other people might not think about when they do a formula, but I do. Basically, I designed this formula about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, based on all the scientific knowledge that was known at that time. It incorporates 5,000 IU of vitamin D in a beautiful little sun-like capsule. It's got vitamin K2 in it that helps with the actually building of bones in the matrix of the body. It's got some vitamin A in it, and just a few things that make this formula a little different than every other formula. So basically, most vitamin D formulas out on the market just concentrate on vitamin D. They put a powder in a capsule, and maybe it's 5,000 IU or 1,000 or 2,000. What I have done is really not use the form of vitamin D that they get from lamb's wool. What I am using is the form of vitamin D that's in fish liver oil. And the liver is a very concentrated source of vitamin D. And so when you take fish liver oil and extract the vitamin D, you don't need very much of it. And it's all natural. It's not made into a powder or things of that sort. That's why I love putting it in a soft gel. So it keeps it very clean. And something other people don't think about it. They just want to throw a bunch of vitamin D powder. That when you make vitamin D, which is an oil, into a powder, you got to use some kind of a maltodextrin or something to make it powdery so it can go into a capsule. But because I'm doing it in a soft gel, I don't have to do that at all. I don't have to add things that maybe not the best when you do that. So that's one thing that makes our vitamin D product a little different. Second thing is we also get vitamin A from fish liver oil. It's another great source of preformed vitamin A. You know, vitamin A is, as a nutritional supplement, frequently comes from beta carotene, and the body has to convert that into vitamin A. And some people, especially diabetics, don't do that very well. So I much prefer using vitamin A as an oil from fish liver. And again, it's very concentrated, so you don't need a big capsule. You just need a tiny little soft gel. Another component of it is vitamin K2, as MK7. Vitamin K2 is needed in actually taking in the calcium into a bone, into the cellular matrix. And without vitamin K2, you don't do that very well. I think it's getting to be fairly well known that when you do vitamin D, vitamin K2 is important. But we use something called MK7 form. And the MK7 form has the property of actually having a half-life in the liver of about 3 days. So it doesn't get used up. It just takes 3 days for half of it to be used up, and then 3 more days for the half of that to be used up. But if you take one of these soft gels every single day, at the end of a week, you've actually built up vitamin K2 in the liver to something like 25 micrograms. And that's important. Some people use MK4 and they don't even find it in the blood as soon as you take it in. It's certainly not as effective as MK7. So that's another one of those factors when you're looking for a really good vitamin D product. You really want to look for MK2. Because vitamin D is an oil, it needs to be absorbed into the body as an oil. And a lot of people say, well, you should take it with food or so on. But what I've done is two things that others don't do. One is I've emulsified it with sunflower lecithin, and that makes it much easier to absorb. So you can take it almost any time you want. The fact is you want to get as much of that vitamin D into the body as is possible. So emulsifying the vitamin D, the oils in there so you absorb it far, far better than, say, in a capsule with the dry powder. The other thing I do is I put it with rice bran oil. In other words, since you want to have an oil with it and your body's going to absorb the oil, I'm going to put an oil right in there instead of you having to have the oil in food. And that combination of the lecithin and the rice bran oil makes this formula absorb far more significantly than what you might normally get in a vitamin D product. So the combination of taking fish liver oil to get both the D and the A, putting MK7 in, which is a better form, and then making it much more absorbable by how it's formulated with lecithin and rice bran oil, makes our product truly a unique product. See? This is the bottle, but this is this little tiny sunny looking vitamin D soft gel. And I smile every time I take it. Thank you for listening to my discussion of our vitamin D3 plus formula. This formula, as you see, is a complete formula. This is my style of trying to bring things together in such a way that they're not little pieces, but they give you a whole system that works within the human body in a far better way. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the discussion.